So it's been 27 years since the passing of the late Tupac Shakur, who was a legend, an absolute a poet, revolutionary, activist, more importantly, also a great legend in the world of hip-hop during the 90s, and it's now just come to light that that the killer has been caught. And now we're here to check this video out. It's police speak on arrest in 1996 murder of Tupac Shakur. So this is from the, guessing this is the Las Vegas Police Department officers right here that's about to take us through what's really gone on since the murder case, since 1996. Right up till now, and it's taken 27 years to get to this point, and apparently they finally got the person who was responsible for the murder of Tupac Shakur. So I'm interested to find out what's going to go on, what this officer is going to talk about. I haven't seen these video clips or anything. I haven't seen anything about it. I sort of heard a rumor about it on social media, on Twitter actually, and yeah, I'm very excited to check out what went on and how did they get to this point, how did they find the person responsible. So yeah, so let's just dive into it and let's see what's what. I won't be checking out the whole video because it's like over 17 minutes long, so it'd be a very long video if I did, and I've got other reactions to do. So but anyway, we're going to check out some of this and see what's what and how we got to this point. But okay, so let's go. Roll the clip.
All right, good afternoon. My name is Kevin McMahill. I'm the sheriff of the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. 27 years.
A long time.
27 years. For 27 years, the family of Tupac Shakur has been waiting for justice. We are here today to announce the arrest of 60-year-old Dwayne Keith Davis, aka Keefy D, for the murder of Tupac Shakur. Davis was arrested this morning by my LVMPD criminal apprehension team, and this investigation started on the night of September 7th, 1996. It is far from over.
But it's it is unbelievable how it's just taken this long to find the to finally get the culprit. I do find, people say that the police department, they just weren't bothered about it, or they didn't care or anything like that. And the thing is, if people are not talking because of this code of silence, it's very hard to get information that can get the investigation, get the wheels moving in the investigation. Because there must have been so many hit fucking dead ends, because every turn they take, because if people are not talking, it's very hard to get the information they needed to be able to get the arrest of the culprit that they just mentioned. So it's very difficult, but let's go.
It has taken countless hours, really decades, of work by the men and women of our homicide section to get to where we are today. Several of those detectives that are standing here with us include Detective Cliff Mogg, the lead detective on this case. He is now retired. While I know there's been many people who did not believe that the murder of Tupac Shakur was important to this police department, I'm here to tell you that was simply not the case. It was not the case back then, and it is not the case today.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I was saying.
Our goal at LVMPD has always been to hold those accountable and responsible for Tupac's violent murder accountable. Just like we do for every homicide victim in our city. Every single victim, every life that is lost is important and remains a priority to this police department. As we methodically built this case to move forward with an arrest, it was also important that at the same time, we're building towards a successful prosecution. We work closely with our esteemed District Attorney, Steve Wolfson, in his office to ensure that is going to happen. Mr. Davis's own words reinvigorated our case in 2018. I'm going to give you some of those details, and I'm going to introduce to you our homicide lieutenant, Jason Johansson, and he will provide you many of the details on how we got here today. Lieutenant.
Thank you, Sheriff, and thank you everybody for being here today. My name is Jason Johansson, and I'm the homicide lieutenant with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. And my goal here today is to walk you through our investigation and what led us to the indictment of Dwayne Davis, also known as Keefe D, for the murder of Tupac Shakur. This case has been reviewed by our homicide team and homicide detectives for over 2.5 decades. And ultimately, our persistence in this investigation has paid off. Let me walk you through a timeline of events that as we know them right now. Prior to September 7th of 1996, as we all know, Tupac Shakur was an artist who was signed with Death Row Records. And that Death Row Records and its CEO, Marion Suge Knight, were closely affiliated with the Mob Piru criminal street gangs, and that they had an ongoing feud with the Southside Compton Crips.
I think Suge Knight was the one who had the beef. Because when it something about a death row medallion, got robbed. By what it says by a crypt member, like 3 months prior to September the 7th, 1996. So when that's the case, and I guess Tupac just got caught in a crossfire. Maybe. Or maybe they're both targets, who knows, but that's what I think. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, but that's what I think personally. Okay, let's go.
Dwayne Davis was the leader and shot caller of the Southside Compton Crips. And both of these gangs operated out of the Southern California area of Compton. On the night of September 7th of 1996, Tupac Shakur, along with Suge Knight, and members of their entourage, which include members of Mob Piru, came to Vegas to attend the Mike Tyson fight at the MGM Grand Garden Arena. Members of the Southside Compton Crips, which included Dwayne Davis, along with his nephew Orlando Anderson, were also in attendance at the same event. As both were leaving the fight, members of Death Row Records spotted Orlando Anderson near an elevator bank inside the MGM, and at that time they began to kick and punch him near that elevator bank. I will now show you hotel security footage, as many of you have already seen, related to this incident. And on this incident, you will see Tupac Shakur, who's wearing a shiny satiny shirt, along with Marion Suge Knight, who's a large man in a brown suit, punching and kicking Orlando Anderson. Following this incident, you'll see hotel
That's a video that's censoring it out, it's not me.
security intervene, and then they will leave the area of the fight. Little did anyone know that it is this incident right here that would ultimately lead to the retaliatory shooting and death of Tupac Shakur. Following this incident, Tupac and Suge Knight both left the MGM to make their way to a post-fight party, which was to occur at a local nightclub. At the same time, word had spread amongst members of the Southside Compton Crips of what had occurred inside the MGM, and then that's when Dwayne Davis began to devise a plan to obtain a firearm and retaliate against Suge Knight and Mr. Shakur for what occurred inside the hotel against Mr. Anderson. After Davis obtained a gun, he entered into a white Cadillac along with Terrence Brown, DeAndre Smith, and Orlando Anderson. Based on our investigation, this is where we know they were seated. At some point in time, As they were in the white Cadillac, Mr. Davis took the gun that he had obtained and provided it to the passengers in the rear seat of the vehicle. As they were as they were driving west on Flamingo Road near Koval.
Just the problem is, because you got three of the members that are in their car, there's four, but three of them are no longer here. They're no longer be able to give any testimony. They're not here to either deny any of the claims, and they're also not they're not alive to be able to even confess to these crimes. So whether they say Keith E.D. was the actual shooter, I guess I don't know if we'll actually know if he was the main shooter, but he was in the car at the time of the shooting, so therefore he's aiding and abetting in the murder. So he pulled that trigger just as much as whoever it was that actually pulled the gun out and actually firing at Tupac Shakur. But or maybe Keith D was the actual shooter. Who knows? But I don't know, unless we get a confession from Keith D. I don't know if we'll actually know whether he was the actual shooter or not. But it's just, it's just taken 27 years to get to this point. And to be honest, I never thought I'd see the day that we'll see, justice for Tupac and his family. But if they're going to be able to investigate this one as extensively as they say they have been, then you really need to be doing the same for Biggie Smalls' murder as well. That's what I think.
They located the black BMW, which was driven by Suge Knight, and in the passenger seat was Tupac Shakur. And as they turned around, they pulled up near the passenger side of that vehicle and immediately began shooting at Mr. Knight and Mr. Shakur. Following that shooting, the white Cadillac fled the area southbound on Koval, and after our officers arrived on scene, Tupac was later transported to the University Medical Center, where he was treated medically and died approximately 6 days later on September 13th. My homicide section handled this investigation from its onset and for a short amount of time. And within a short amount of time, what we knew was that we were working a gang investigation where our victims, our witnesses, and our suspects were all from Southern California and not local to Las Vegas. Within the first few months of the investigation, our detectives knew most of the information I just briefed you on. However, we never had the necessary evidence to bring this case forward and present it for criminal charges. As time went on, this case had been reviewed multiple times by different investigators assigned to my section, but it wasn't until 2018 that this case was reinvigorated as additional information came to light related to this homicide. Specifically, Dwayne Davis's own admissions to his involvement in this homicide investigation that he provided to numerous different media outlets. In our section, we knew at this time that this was likely our last time to take a run at this case to successfully solve this case and bring forth a criminal charge. It was at that time that this case was assigned to Cliff Mogg, a detective within my homicide section. And over the last 5 years, my section worked closely, hand in hand with the Clark County District Attorney's Office and followed a systematic investigative plan over the last 5 years. We've conducted countless interviews and corroborated numerous facts that were not only consistent with the crime scene on the night of the incident, but also corroborated and were consistent with the sequence of events that night. This ultimately led to us procuring a search warrant which was executed at Mr. Davis's residence in Henderson, Nevada. And following the execution of that search warrant, in close coordination with the District Attorney's Office, this case was presented to the grand jury, which ultimately led to Davis being indicted on charges of murder. Before I hand it off to the District Attorney's Office, I would be remiss if I didn't thank Detective Mogg and all the other detectives that were not only assigned this case and reviewed this case, but all the other detectives from other agencies that assisted us in this investigation. They know who they are, and thank you very much for all the assistance you provided. It does not go unnoticed. And lastly, one of the most important things, in my opinion, is we need to make this be a reminder that the charge of murder does not have a statute of limitations. This agency has been and is invested in solving our cold case homicides so that we can bring closure to those families and justice for those victims of homicide. And with that, I will turn it over to the Clark County District Attorney, Steve Wilson.
All right. I think that, yeah, the fact that we got so they got the arrest. There's an indictment on the suspect. Now we got to wait. We just got to wait to hear is if there's going to be a conviction, and because if he does get convicted, he's definitely going away for life. Because murder is life. So, and he's already 60 years old. So if he gets convicted and gets charged and sent to prison for the murder of Tupac Shakur, then he's gonna spend the rest of his life in jail, and he's gonna die in jail. Simple as that. But yeah, but hopefully they do get a conviction, because it's been too long. It's been so long. 27 years. That is a long, long time to get a conviction. Just to get an arrest, to be able to put up to draw up an arrest warrant to go and arrest the suspect, the culprit for the Tupac Shakur as murder. So it's crazy, and hopefully they do. Hopefully he gets sent down, and Tupac and his family get the justice that they deserve. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to leave that. That's just a few of my thoughts on it, and yeah. So, what's your thoughts? Let me know in the comments down below. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you found this interesting of some sort of any kind, yeah, I genuinely appreciate it, and yeah, I don't know what else to say. But yeah, hopefully they do get a conviction by the late Tupac Shakur. Yeah. Peace.